Rapids replacing a drive motor on one of their free motion treadmills. So we were here a while back replacing a front roller due to the front, that plastic pulley there. Um, it had come on, uh, it had disconnected itself from the roller itself, so we opted to replace the pulley and the roller. Now, when we did that, we noticed that this drive motor actually makes a significant amount of noise, and you'll hear kind of a metal on metal noise here when I speed it up. I don't know if you can hear that real well. Yeah, there you go. So that's the noise that we're hearing, and that's all coming from the drive motor. Yeah, there you go. So that's the noise that we're hearing, and that's all coming from the drive motor. So first thing we're gonna do, make sure that one, we don't hurt ourselves. Two, damage the equipment, is we're going to unplug the treadmill. Not just turn it off, but we're going to fully unplug it. All right. So the treadmill has been disconnected from power. First step towards removing the motor, we need to determine where all the wires go. These treadmills are pretty simple. They just go through that little rectangle in the frame there. And out through the back. So if you come around back here, you'll see free motion really makes it about as easy as it gets. The wires for the drive motor are all right here, held on by this zip tie, which we're going to remove. There we go. And then we can start unplugging the drive motor. Now, this is a three-phase motor, so you do need to be mindful of the colors of wires. And see, we have V, W, and U. These need to be plugged in to where they came out of. So make sure that the wires and the label on the motor indicates the correct phase rotation. Otherwise, your treadmill is either going to go backwards or it will cause damage to the motor itself, and we don't want to do anything like that. So get your wires out here, zip tie somewhere safe. We'll pull the wires through this frame. Next step is we need to remove the drive belt. So this particular
tools
has a 9/16 nut, as well as, I believe, either an 8mm or a 7/32. Let's see what size we are.
Here's the motor in its box.
So there we go. We'll get our extension put on there. Take our ratchet here. And if you come in here, right here, you can kind of see we actually have a jam nut there, right down inside of here, if you get the camera in there, right where I'm pointing. What I usually do, I don't know if you can see the jam nut from that angle.
Here, let me come. Sorry, I'm stuck on a... There we go.
So right inside of here, we have a jam nut. So what I like to do is put it forward just a little bit, enough to loosen that jam nut. And then with that, we can put our wrench in place and start loosening our drive belt up. So once your drive belt is loose enough for you to remove it from the motor, or the roller pulley, whichever one you prefer. Ideally the motor, but the pulley will do just fine. Get that up and out of the way just like so. Now the next thing we have to do, there are these 4 mounting bolts that hold the motor onto the treadmill frame. I'm going to grab another extension. Verify that's the correct size. It is not, so that means that this is a 1/4 inch. Yep. So 1/4 inch there. We'll start loosening up all of these bolts. We'll just start with one for now. We'll make sure that there is something in place here. So you see how this one is shaped here. This is what helps keep your motor where it needs to be, facing the exact orientation that they need for the drive belt to line up. Which means we don't necessarily need to mark where this is. We just have to remember that it is this hole and not this one that we are mounting the motor to. And that is if this is even an adjustable motor. Usually they aren't, but always keep track of things like that. So this way, when you get the new part, you put it in, you know exactly how the old part came out. It just saves a lot of hassle. Alright, so now we have all 4 mounting bolts removed. And with that, after getting this ground here, our motor should be free. And again, these 90-degree angle attachments, they really do save you a lot of time and hassle. This motor, or this grounding screw right there up to the frame, right there, right up against this frame here, it would be very hard to get a conventional screwdriver into that. Alright, so we dropped a piece down there, but that's alright. We'll get a magnet and get that piece out of there. Actually looks like we don't have the clearance we need without removing this belt tensioner, so we're going to do that right now. Attachment there, put our drill on. comes off, and our bolt is free. Next step is we got to take this off. Let's see, 3/16 there, yep. And since there's no real tension on this, or there's no real clamping force on this nut right here, I'm just going to use an adjustable real quick to get that off of there. Nope, not yet. And there we are. Now our motor should just lift directly up and out. Old motor's right there. Let's see, did I leave that box cutter back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be the hardest part.
There we go. That explains that. Remove our new motor from the box and set it down next to the old motor. One thing you always want to do when you're installing new parts, every single time you want to make sure before you start that you inspect the new parts. No place is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes shipping, you know, you name it. You want to make sure that the new part is not only the correct part, but it will not have a issue like, let's say if they dropped it on this end and the shaft was pressed in, or you had a crack in this cast metal case on the either side. And this motor looks good, sounds good, I don't hear anything, so let's get to installing it. Well, actually, we're going to check this. I'd actually mentioned that a little bit ago. So W there, U there, and V there. So the new motor is labeled exactly as the old one was. You see 1, 2, and 3, black, red, white. 1, 2, and 3. Yep. So we have the same exact motor. So for this motor here, we are actually going to replace that grounding cable since it came with a new one. and it is under warranty. Well, yeah, we'll just take the one off of here. Because otherwise, this plastic frame or this plastic sheath has to come off, meaning the top of the console has to come off. The console has to be removed just to slide all of that up. Just to make sure also that we don't have any contamination, I'm going to go grab some paper towels. Yep, I'm going to go grab some paper towels and
Okay.
we'll be right back.
That means it's me. Here we are, Cedar Rapids, Orange Theory Fitness. So you can see they have a very nice, clean facility. We are here on number 8, Treadmill. We've got, so you can see, the old motor taken out. It's acting funky. We're currently putting the new one in, waiting for our technician to get some paper towels to clean it off, make sure it's all clean for Orange Theory here in Cedar Rapids. And yeah, as you can see, he's got all his tools. He's a big fan of these. Always get the extenders. And yeah, you see, it's a beautiful day here in Cedar Rapids. So if you're in Cedar Rapids, make sure to come check out Orange Theory. Again, them new and improved treadmills. Or I guess a treadmill motor. Yeah. It's going pretty good so far. This is our second stop of the day. We have one more after this at the Kirkwood Reserve, I believe. So once we are done here, we'll be ending the stream and heading there. So make sure you come back and stay tuned for that one once we're done here. But we still got a while to go here, so
All right.
maybe not a while, but
Hopefully not a while.
nope. Sorry. Great technician here is going to get the job done fast,
But not too fast.
but not too fast.
All right, so there's a bunch of junk inside of there, and also assuming that we had bad bearings on the motor, we don't want to potentially get all that dust and metal shavings, whatever else is in there, inside of our new motor. So we're going to completely vacuum and clean out the area around the motor just for good measure. Sorry about the noise. And there we go, just like that. We now have a clean spot to install our new drive motor. Put that up there out of the way. And then we just drop our new motor into place.
Just tuning in, we're here at Orange Theory Fitness, replacing this motor and the treadmill. Got the old one taken out and currently placing the new one in.
All right. So now that we've got that motor in place, we're going to put our drive belt on, set that up how we want it, since we don't have a tensioner in our way. Set that on the ribs that we want it to ideally fall on, close to the middle. Now, one thing that helps quite a bit is if you have the area marked, such as right here where the tensioner rested. Really, unless you're replacing the drive belt as well, that would work as a good indication of where you should set the tensioner. Now that we have this a little bit through there, I'm going to put this jam nut back on. Don't want to forget that, otherwise it'll vibrate its way loose. Wear out the drive belt. properly tensioned. I'm going to back it off a little bit so this way we can get our jam nut put back against that metal, that threaded bracket. There we have that. So next what we need to do is wire up our drive motor. Just feed the wire harness through the frame. Again, free motion makes this incredibly easy to do in comparison to several other treadmill manufacturers. And just as expected, here they all are on the other side. Incredibly easy and straightforward with these free motion treadmills. Now, before we forget, we're going to grab our magnet, as well as a couple of our extensions here, so that way we can get down there. And we're going to pick up our washer that we had dropped a couple of seconds ago. You don't need any kind of special magnet, just something capable of picking it up. And there it is. Now this wire here is a little bit loose, so what I'm probably going to do is add an additional zip tie there just to prevent the ground from potentially coming into contact with the motor's flywheel. It doesn't seem like it has the slack to do that, but because I'm here, I'm going to make extra sure that it's not going to. So there's that. Motor is installed, put in place. We're going to grab a couple of these zip ties here, or a few of them, as well as something to cut the ends off of them with.
Just tuning in, we're here in beautiful Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Orange Theory.
Put one zip tie up around here. This way, again, we know that the ground cannot come in contact with the drive motor's flywheel. Now all we have left is wiring up the drive motor itself, which, again, free motion makes this incredibly straightforward. They have the motors external to the motor drive, which means we put them on here, and since this is a little bit larger bundle of wires, I'm going to use 2 zip ties just to make sure that it doesn't have a chance of coming loose. I'll be ready to fire the treadmill up. We'll plug our treadmill in. Make sure the running belt is clear of any tools or anything that can cause damage to it. And we wait for the treadmill to boot up.
There's the motor we just replaced. If you're just tuning in, we're making sure it works here. Treadmill Heroes at Orange Theory Fitness, helping them out.
And now that we've got everything installed, what we are going to do is start the treadmill up at a low speed. So this way we can stop it if the drive belt starts to walk or if it starts to make any kind of noise or vibration. As we see there, the drive belt is exactly where we put it, in the very middle of the pulley. We'll start it up to 3 miles an hour. See that jingling noise we had before? It is completely gone. Our drive belt is not walking. We'll give it a light stomp just to make sure that it's not going to slip. Does not slip. So now all we need to do is wipe down the treadmill, get rid of all the dust and stuff that we brought in with the new box, put it back together, and we'll be good to go.
Here at Orange Theory Fitness, we're finishing it up here. We're going to get some lunch, and then we're heading to the Kirkwood Reserve, I believe it is.
Yes, that is correct.
What are we doing there?
We have to look at a cable, and I believe it's a lap pull down, a Nautilus lap pull down.
So not just treadmills here at Treadmill Heroes, but also all fitness equipment. So make sure you tune in for that stream here in a little bit. See you later.